The observation deck of Station Kepler 9 hummed with the usual cacophony of galactic commerce, 100 species conducting business in 100 different tongues. But in the far corner, near the viewport overlooking the nebula, an unusual silence had formed. Talia stood perfectly still, her hands visible at her sides, her breathing slow and measured. Around her feet, 7 Kryn cubs circled in a protective formation, their crystalline fur bristling with bioluminescent warnings. Their snarls were low, rhythmic, a sound that made most species' survival instincts scream. The station's security officer, a Quellan named Thros, had his 3-fingered hand hovering near his plasma sidearm. His compound eyes flickered between the human and the cubs, confusion radiating from his pheromone glands. Control. I need backup. On deck 7, Thros spoke into his comm, his voice tight. Human surrounded by hostile Kryn juveniles. Situation critical. Don't. Talia's voice cut through the tension like a blade through silk. Quiet, but absolute. Thros's hand moved another centimeter toward his weapon. The snarling intensified. The largest cub, Vex with his distinctive scarred muzzle, placed himself directly between Talia and the security officer. His back arched, and the light patterns across his fur shifted to deep crimson. They're going to attack, Thros insisted, his hand now gripping the weapon's handle. They're going to defend, Talia corrected, still motionless. And if you draw that gun, I won't be able to stop them. The security officer's training warred with his instincts. Kryn were apex predators from a death world, cubs included. Protocol demanded he eliminate the threat. But something in the human's demeanor gave him pause. Explain, he demanded. Quickly. Talia's eyes never left Vex, who was watching her with the same intensity he watched the officer. 3 months ago, their mother was killed by poachers. Station administration put them in containment while they figured out what to do with 7 orphaned predators. I volunteered to help with their care. That doesn't explain why they're defending you, Thros said, though he noticed his hand had stopped moving toward the weapon. Doesn't it? Talia's lips curved slightly. Their mother died protecting them from armed threats. You're an armed threat reaching for your weapon while facing me. Do the math, officer. Vex's snarl deepened, and Talia finally moved, just slightly. She lowered herself into a crouch, bringing her head level with the cubs. They didn't break formation, but their aggressive displays decreased by a fraction. They imprinted on you, Thros said, understanding dawning. Stars above, they think you're their mother. I'm their guardian, Talia corrected. There's a difference. Their mother was fierce, protective, and never backed down from a threat to her young. They remember that. They remember the sounds, the body language, the scent of fear from the ones who killed her. Another security officer arrived, hand already on her weapon. The cubs' response was immediate. 3 of them turned to face the new threat, their collective snarling creating a sound that vibrated through the deck plating. Stand down. Talia's voice carried command that made even Thros flinch. But she wasn't talking to the security officers. She was talking to the cubs. Vex's head whipped around to look at her. For a moment, the entire deck seemed to hold its breath. Talia slowly extended her hand, palm down, fingers relaxed. It was a gesture she'd repeated thousands of times over the past months, during feeding, during their play sessions, during the long nights when their grief howls kept the entire station awake. Vex's pupils dilated. His ears twitched forward. Then slowly he pressed his crystalline forehead against her palm. The other cubs watched their leader. One by one, their aggressive displays diminished. They didn't retreat. Kryn cubs never retreated, but they transitioned from attack posture to guard stance. You see, Talia said quietly, her hand now gently scratching behind Vex's ears. You were never in danger from them. You were the danger. To me. Thros finally removed his hand from his weapon entirely. I don't understand humans, he admitted. You're from a death world yourselves, yet you risk your life for predators from another species' death world. We don't see it as risk, Talia replied, standing slowly. The cubs maintained their protective circle, but they were calmer now, their bioluminescence shifting to blues and greens. We see it as responsibility, they're children. Orphaned children. The fact that they could rip out my throat doesn't change that. But they could rip out your throat, the second officer pointed out. Talia smiled then, an expression that carried something ancient and knowing. Officer, I'm from Earth. I evolved alongside creatures that could rip out my throat. My ancestors looked at wolves, pack hunters, apex predators, and decided to make them family. We looked at felines that killed prey 3 times their size and invited them into our homes. We've been doing this for 30,000 years. She gestured to Vex, who was now sitting at her feet, his tail wrapped around her ankle. This is what humans do. We see something fierce and dangerous, and instead of destroying it, we ask, can we be friends? Thross's pheromones shifted to something like respect. The council isn't going to approve permanent custody. Kryn are too dangerous. The council, Talia said calmly, can try to take them from me. But I should warn you, if they send armed security to do it, these cubs are going to react exactly how you'd expect. Vex growled softly, as if in agreement. And I, Talia continued, her voice hardening, will react exactly how a human would when someone threatens children under their protection. The 2 security officers exchanged glances. Neither needed translation for that threat. As they departed, Thross paused. For the record, what would you have done if I'd drawn my weapon? Talia's expression didn't change. I would have put myself between you and them. Not to protect you, to give them a clear path to escape. Because that's what mothers do, officer. Even human ones. After they left, Vex looked up at her with his predator's eyes, and she could have sworn she saw understanding there. Come on, she said to the cubs. Let's go home. The pack followed their human, and somewhere in that strange bond between Deathworld species, neither seemed concerned about the teeth.